John Ulzheimer is known as one of our nation's most recognized credit experts. Having worked for 28 years in the credit industry, John has become one of the most prolific speakers about credit and the go-to authority on answers to credit-related questions. Credit Countdown with John Ulzheimer.
Hey there, this is John Ulzheimer. I am coming to you from sunny Atlanta, Georgia. Today I'm going to answer a consumer question that I got through these videos. So if you have any questions, drop them in the comments section below. I love those. They give me ideas for future content. Plus, it's good to talk about what you want to talk about, not necessarily what I always want to talk about. Today, the question is about LexisNexis. They're a massive company. They do a lot of things. One thing that they do is they're a consumer reporting agency for insurance companies. They are also a public records vendor. So the public record information that ends up on your credit reports, as of the date of this video, the only public record that shows up as a public record is a bankruptcy. Credit bureaus get that information from LexisNexis because they are the public record vendor. But today we're going to talk about LexisNexis in their context as a consumer reporting agency. You'll notice that I'm not saying credit reporting agency. It's because they're not a credit reporting agency. They're a consumer reporting agency. They don't maintain credit information like Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion maintains credit information. The information maintained by LexisNexis in their consumer reporting database is about insurance claims. And so that database is referred to as the CLUE database, C-L-U-E, like the game, CLUE. Comprehensive Loss Underwriting Exchange is what CLUE stands for. That's a fancy way of saying it's a database that insurance companies use to furnish information about your claims. So if you have filed a homeowner's or auto claim in the last 7 years, information about that claim, it is highly likely going to be included in the CLUE database. Now, if you have not filed an insurance claim in the last 7 years, then you're not going to have a CLUE report. It's almost like having an empty credit report. There's nothing about you in the system. If you've only filed a homeowner's claim, then you're only going to have a CLUE report for homeowners. If you've only filed an auto claim in the last 7 years, then you're only going to have a CLUE report for auto. And so if you think about it kind of broken up like that, that's how that works. And so the question that the consumer had, that the viewer had, was LexisNexis, can I prevent them from sharing these reports about my claims to insurance companies? So it's an interesting question because really what the question is asking is there any way that you can prevent insurance companies from being able to see if you have filed claims in the last 7 years? That's why insurance companies buy these CLUE reports, because they use them when they're underwriting policies. They use them to determine whether or not you can even get a policy, and they use them to determine the premium or the price of your policy. So think about the CLUE reports to insurance companies as a credit report is to a lender, because they're really used for the same reason, to assess the risk of doing business with you, whether or not they even want to do business with you and under what terms. So the question is can you essentially prevent an insurance company from pulling your CLUE report? And the answer is yes. The way you do that is you can place a security freeze on your CLUE reports, just like you can place a security freeze on your traditional credit reports. And what that does is it prevents any company with whom you do not have a relationship from accessing that information. Now, I absolutely do not suggest that you do this unless you're doing it because you're worried about fraud and you don't want some bad actor to access your CLUE report under false pretenses. It's the same reason I suggest people freeze their credit reports, because you want to prevent people from applying for fraud in your name and then the lender pulling a credit report under false pretenses. If your CLUE reports are frozen and you go and you apply for insurance somewhere and they can't get your report, then they're probably going to deny your application. Just like if you applied for credit somewhere and they couldn't get your credit reports because they're frozen, they're going to deny your application. So to the extent that you want to freeze your reports, go apply for something and get denied, then I guess go for it, but that just kind of seems silly to do something like that. But yes, that is the method by which you would prevent insurance companies from getting information from LexisNexis, is to freeze your clue reports, which you can do obviously at the LexisNexis website, and there is no cost for doing so. So if you have any other questions, please drop them in the comment section below. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you learned something. Take care.
For more videos and credit tips from John Ulzheimer, go to www.tradelinesupply.com.